Well, if it isn't Megaman X8. After the massive missteps that Capcom made with Megaman X7, they really wanted to make up for what they did previously. And what we got really shows. Without any further ado, let's go! And from the get-go, a narrator is establishing some of the stuff that we need to know about the game.
The endless Reploid rebellions continue. Humans, however, have begun migrations to the moon, thanks to new technology. This plan is called the Jacob Project, and an orbital elevator was built as part of it. Highly advanced new generation Reploids have been brought to the moon's surface to work.
There has been an accident on board the number 4 descending
This is X. I've encountered an accident while on patrol of the orbital elevator. Dispatch rescue mechanoloids immediately.
After the accident, a Reploid appears from the rubble. And who is he?
I'm Lumine. I'm the director in charge of the elevator and of the Jacob Project.
After the cutscene, we start our first level. And guess what? They went right back to, well, kinda, to the formula of Megaman X1. You see, in the previous X games, well, specifically X5, X6, and X7, they were explaining a lot of stuff that were not necessarily necessary. But here, they present the enemies, and the types of enemies, and the numbers of enemies to teach you about the mechanics. You see, in the beginning, you can use your standard buster shots to destroy the bees in front of you. Afterwards, you will need to use the charge shot. The entire level teaches you about the mechanics of the game without explaining it to you. This right here is fantastic level design, and it really needs to be acknowledged. After the first boss,
How nice to see you again, X.
File! He used to be a Class A hunter, but now he's our sworn enemy. He's a maverick and a wanted criminal.
I'd love to stay and play, boys, but I'm afraid I have too much work to do.
Lumine?
That's right. The orbital elevator is under our control now.
Just what do you plan to do?
It begins now, X. A new world will be born.
man, I really do like Vile's voice. And so the other cast. My god, this is awesome! The performances here really express about these characters. The kindness of X.
Darn!
X? What's the matter? The mission's only just begun.
That's right. It's begun again. How long must this war go on?
Just the thought of wiping the floor with those mavericks makes my trigger finger itch.
Axel!
No, Aelia. Axel's right. There's no time to be wishy-washy here. Even as we speak, mavericks are causing havoc.
the aggressiveness of Zero.
Sigma? Can't say I was looking forward to seeing you again.
Zero. What a shame. You had the abilities and potential to become like me.
You tried to use my DNA. I'll teach you what happens when you mess with me.
The cockiness of Axel, the evil persona in a non-cringy way.
I hear you're a prototype of us new generation Reploids. So, why did you become a Maverick Hunter?
Because I enjoy mopping the floor with the legs of evil mavericks like you, Mantis.
You don't understand a thing, do ya? There is no such thing as good and evil. You haven't realized that yet, have you?
I may be a prototype, but don't assume I'm anything like you maverick creeps.
Alright, let's talk briefly about the level design. I think the level design is great, but questionable at some points. Let me explain. For instance, in a level like Inferno, with the Maverick Burn Rooster, the level starts with these platforms rising or the camera is just going down. I really can't tell. And the next section is here. There are a lot of spikes that are out of camera. And this can lead into frustrating experiences if you're not careful. And stuff like this is what I meant by saying questionable at some points. And the final section is the first part section, but a bit harder. But it really does provide with a good platforming challenge. And finally we get to our boy right here, Burn Rooster. And yo, the Maverick music is so dope. I know it's a minor detail, but it's actually my favorite in the entire series. Now, let's check out Mel Valley with Earth Rock Trilobite. My god, this is a cool name! This level is basically stop chasing me, stop chasing me, stop chasing me! And after hitting him a few times, he's like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. And you're like, I'm taking those medals and you're not getting away! After that, we take him down one more time and we get to
The minerals we mine here are essential to the development of space.
What do you plan to do with these rare resources?
Even if I explained, I doubt a brainless maverick hunter like yourself could understand. I'll bury you old heaps of junk right here.
This guy's great. He has incredibly fun patterns to dodge, and he does put a really good and decent challenge. Generally, the bosses here are good. Not as great as X5 or absolutely fantastic like X4, but they are still decent. Now to our anti-gravity lab, with Gravity Antonian. And I think it speaks for itself. And Gravity Antonian is nothing special really. So moving on, now to Rooster Forest, which is easily my favorite looking stage in the entire game. And it has our buddy, Bamboo Pandemonium. I absolutely adore this stage, because it has a really good challenge. There is a ride arm at the beginning. You can ride it, and you can get to the final boss if you managed to platform well and solve puzzles well. This is absolutely fantastic level design, and Pandemonium can give you a hard time. Now to Dynasty, with Gigabolt Manowar. A lot of people may have a problem with this level, but I find it enjoyable. It emphasizes proper dashing and proper dodging. But a quick tip, raise the weapon gauge a little bit in order to gain more dash along the way. If I had to nitpick, you'll hear a lot of this. As for Manowar himself, I'm not gonna talk about him because his boss fight is not that worthy. Now to Central White, with Avalanche Yeti. I'm gonna say it up front, I hate this stage. It's basically a riding section and nothing fun about it, well for me at least. And now to Pitch Black, the stealth stage in the game. And hey, you can turn on the lights if you had the electricity weapon. Or you can try to dodge the lights. But if you failed, this'll happen. And if you manage to keep on holding, at the end of the warning, some of them will be like, man screw this, I don't want to do this anymore! And you finish the stage with Dark Mantis. You may say he is the energy consumer. The final Maverick stage is Destroy Base. This is basically a trial combat, and it is a good one at that. Depending on the time that you finish your enemies in, you can get better rewards. And if you manage to beat them perfectly, you'll get At first, I did not understand this Easter egg. I knew it was a classic Mega Man boss, but I didn't know which. Then, it clicked, and I found out that this was a boss from Mega Man 1. I didn't play Mega Man 1 at the time of playing this stage, and this was dope. Alright, before I talk about the final cast stages, I want to talk about our three characters. Let's start with Axel. Axel's mobility and fire rate and hovering capability makes him fantastic for platforming, and the fire rate is phenomenal, which makes it super easy to make great combos. And this time, the copy shot is actually powerful and more useful, and you'll need to use it if you want to gather chips across the stages. As for X has three new armors: the Icarus armor, which emphasizes strength and power, and the Hermes armor, which emphasizes speed and mobility, and the neutral armor, which can combine parts of both armors. Although the armor's design is kinda lacking, but they give good color palettes, establishing their capabilities. The red color emphasizes the Icarus armor's buster shots and defense power and strength. The blue emphasizes the Hermes armor's speed and invisibility powers. And hey, if you gather all X chips, you can get the ultimate armor with the purple color palette, which is basically the combination of both armors, and the X4 armor from Mega Man X4, which is a boss breaker. It's X's turn to be one, huh? Or you can go with the easy route and use cheat codes, whatever suits you. Now, it's time to talk about Zero. This dude has a lot of customization. And when I say customization, I mean he has new weapons, like a glaive, a huge blade. The glaive has good range. The Sigma blade is basically a shield breaker, and it is surprisingly really strong. And to my surprise, there is this. There is something fundamentally wrong when you see Zero punches and kicks. The range is terrible, but my god, it's so hilarious. The fighting style of these characters and their capabilities really reflect on their characters, and the voice actors really did a good job. Alright, let's wrap this up. The first castle stage is the orbital elevator. You ride this thing and you beat all the enemies until you get to the top. And you fight this dude for probably the third time in the game.
Don't you ever get tired of the whole justice thing?
Don't you ever get tired of being Sigma's lapdog?
The orbital elevator, the energy, the space minerals, the rocket data, the route to space. The thing that's allowed this world to survive this long is ours. How can you take this world seriously when it's all about to end?
I think I'll take care of you before I go after your boss.
You fight him in the middle of the game as a mid-boss, if you may say. While it's decent, but it's not that difficult. The second castle stage is the boss rush, and this dude again. And the final castle stage is the one with, if not the most, filled with spikes in the game. But it's not obnoxious, so I will give it a pass. Then we get to Sigma, and defeat him. After that,
Oh, Lumine, are you okay?
Am I okay? Of course. Now that you've defeated Sigma, I suppose you're satisfied. Thanks to you, the plan has gone smoothly.
But Lumine, weren't you just used by Sigma?
Used? I don't think so. You see, he merely helped my plan along. The new generation Reploids have been awakened, and the new world is at hand.
yep, Lumini was the imposter all along, and we fight him as the final boss. That's kinda obvious and, I'm not gonna lie, kinda cliche. But however, the boss? The first phase is kinda okay. The final phase, however, is absolutely fantastic. Well, first of all, because of the attack patterns. And secondly, the music. The game was a massive step up from Megaman X7 in terms of everything. Well, except the graphics and the music, but everything else was great. The level design and the fantastic gameplay of all three characters. I hope you did enjoy watching this video. Take care of yourself.